guys, what's up? It's Steve with Range Minded Podcast. And no, this isn't going to be an episode of the podcast. No, instead, this is going to be something that I've wanted to do for a while, just haven't gotten to that yet. And this is going to be a start of something new, I hope. We're going to look at some new gear for the show, some cool stuff. This isn't going to be any kind of a review video. No, we're going to just look at a new product, to me anyways, and that is this guy right here. This is the primary weapon system MK116 MOD2. It is a mouthful, but I mean, look at this gun. When you look at it, it's a fantastic rifle, and I am so excited to see how this bad boy actually runs on the range. If you can't tell, it is recently out of the box. I have not taken this thing to the range yet. I have shot primary weapons before, but not this one, because this one's mine and this one belongs in my safe. So I'm super stoked about this guy. It is going to be quite the rifle. So let's talk about what you get when you break this gun out of the box, what you can expect when you order it or when you purchase it from the store, and you know, just check it out. Let's look at this thing. First and foremost, Primary Weapons did not send me this gun. I did not reach out to them and say, hey, I need a gun to try out. I did reach out to them because I wanted to buy the MOD2. So this was purchased with money. This was not given to review. I know some folks, when you say, content creators anyways, when they talk about reviewing something, you're always curious to see, are they just a shill? Are they just kind of flinging a product because it was given to them? No, this was purchased with my own money. Now, let's talk about that on the topic of money. MSRP on these guys is around $2,000. Street price is going to be less than that. You're going to be somewhere in the neighborhood. I mean, I don't know what your gun shop has them for, but you can expect to pay somewhere between $1,500 and maybe $1,800. And I know that's a lot of money, but trust me, you're going to get what you pay for. And this rifle runs, you know, tiers with BCM and Daniel Defense on kind of that level of what you might expect to pay for that price. But honestly, I think for the money that you're spending, this is a much better rifle in my opinion. And let's talk about why. Well, we got to start from one end or the other, so you might as well start here at the muzzle. This is the FRC 2-port compensator. This is made by Primary Weapons, something they machine in-house. The beauty about this guy is it mitigates some of the flash, and it helps keep the gun flat while you're shooting. I don't know if you can see it there or not, but it is threaded, and it will run the Reardon Atlas suppressor, can screw right to it. If that's not what you're in for, I do believe they make an adapter so you can run Primary's cans that they're manufacturing. On the topic of manufacturing, a couple years ago I had a chance to visit PWS, their machine shop, their factory, their plant, whatever you want to call it, and it was absolutely amazing. No, I didn't get any footage of it. It's not something that they do very often. Don't expect to just knock on the door and they'll let you in. I happen to know a few people there at the factory, or at the shop there, so I was able to take a tour, and it is absolutely amazing. The machinery they got, they're building everything in-house, which is fantastic. Also, I had a chance to look through the window. You can't go into the clean room, but look through the window where their suppressors are being 3D printed, which is quite an amazing machine. But that's neither here nor there, I suppose. All right, working our way down the barrel length here, we got this 15-inch handguard, and it's what they're calling the pick lock system. Again, this is machined by PWS themselves. The beauty of the pick lock is it's combining Picatinny rail and M-lock together, so it gives you vast amounts of surface area to mount whatever you want. If you want to run lasers or a light on top or on the bottom, you can do that, as well as either side. And then the M-lock, obviously, that gives you an uncountable amount of accessories you can throw on there. In this case, this is the B5 Systems, just their little foregrip. I wanted to find the BCM, but the local shop here in town, they didn't have any in stock, so I just picked up this guy and threw it on there because I do like the way that feels when you're coming up to clamshell around that. It just feels nice. I like the idea. While we're here, we might as well talk about the adjustable gas block. Now, this is a long stroke piston system, which is a little bit different than your normal run-of-the-mill AR-15. You got to think more on the line of AK. Just kind of think Mr. AK and Mrs. AR had a love child, and this is what was born. It's a kind of a hybrid between the two, sort of, but not really. Long stroke piston, and we'll tear this gun apart in a second. I'll show you what it looks like inside, but the piston rod goes all the way to the bolt carrier, and even my dog agrees it's pretty amazing. Sorry about that. There is a 3-position adjustable gas block. One is all the way open, so allowing all the gas to move that bolt back and forth. 2 is a softer option that it gases some of the gases out through the tube for the piston. And then setting 3 is just for suppressor, and apparently it works really well. Again, I haven't had a chance to shoot this rifle yet, but from what I've seen and heard, it is a dream boat to shoot with a suppressor on it. Now, working toward the receiver set, the upper and lower, this is forged aluminum. It's 7075 T6. What is it? T651. Which I don't know what that means, other than it's supposed to be far more rigid while keeping it lightweight and aluminum. You can see that there's a flared mag well to assist in those quick mag changes. Also, what you're going to notice with this receiver set is it is completely ambidextrous, meaning lefties and righties. It doesn't judge you if you're right or wrong-handed. You can pick up this rifle and put it to good use. What you're also going to notice is there is no forward assist. The Mod 1 does have a forward assist if that's what you're looking for. In this case, I like the idea of not having it. I kind of feel like with a piston gun, it's not really necessary. I could be wrong. I also don't run my gun so dirty that it gets to the point where I need the forward assist. Speaking of getting dirty, that long stroke piston system runs very clean compared to a gas and tinged rifle. If you've ever shot a normal standard AR suppressed, you're getting a lot of that carbon back in your face, and that's because of just the nature of the system that pushes the gas to push the bolt back and forth inside the receiver, and then as that gas is utilized for that purpose, it ends up being in the shooter's face. The long stroke system is using all that gas to force the bolt back, and then as that pushes that bolt back, there are little ports that the piston off gases and easing off the gas pressure until the bolt is already all the way back. Next thing on this receiver set, you'll see a Radian Raptor charging handle. Now, this is not the one that's fully aluminum. The wings on the Raptor in this case are polymer. I have not heard any reports of the polymer wings breaking on the charging handle, so I don't think it's necessarily a bad deal. I'm not going to throw this out of a moving vehicle. I'm going to run this rifle, but I'm not going to abuse this rifle. Also, where this buffer tube meets up, you're going to see their patented ratcheting castle nut system with a single point QD mount. Now, the nice thing about the ratcheting setup is you're not having to stake your castle nut. Once it's there, it's there. There's a little keeper there that runs those teeth around the ring of the castle nut, and it stays put. It will not walk off on you. As we move back to the buffer tube, it's a 1.2 inch buffer tube with a modified buffer inside there. And there is a lot of adjustment in the stock of this rifle. So whether you're long armed or short armed, or maybe you're running a vest, a plate carrier for some reason, there's plenty of adjustments to get that right where you want it. Speaking of the furniture, this is standard Magpul furniture. It's got the QD mount on it. It's the MOA, I think is what this is. It's pretty generic furniture. I'm okay with that. I'm going to run it that way. If down the future I want to change it, obviously with the way ARs are set up, it is got tons and tons of modularity. Let's crack this thing open and let's look at the bolt and the piston system. Okay. Now, this is a totally interesting setup, the way you have to pull this thing out here. And I'll show you why. Now, if you look at the bolt, the charging handle, and the piston all come out in one unit. A lot of folks, if you don't like the charging handle, where you might have a little bit of an issue because it straddles the actual operating rod of the piston, which is permanently, or at least affixed, very well affixed to the bolt. Now there is a slot here. There we go. There's the main part of the piston, then your operating rod and your charging handle comes right off of that. There's still packing grease on this guy. I have not shot this gun yet, which is kind of sucks. I wanted to shoot today, but it was so windy today, it would have been absolutely atrocious. Now you see that operating rod is attached to the bolt carrier setup itself, unlike, you know, having a gas key. Some of the other piston setups on the other ARs manufacturers out there, the rod is not attached to the buffer, or excuse me, to the bolt itself. So as this cycles, you end up getting some bolt tilt, which slows down or retards, I guess, the function of the bolt. This is all one piece and then affixed to the other end of the rod, or the piston. So as it operates, it goes straight back into the buffer and then back into the locking position, which is going to give you better recoil impulse, a better feel of the gun, and more longevity long term. There's less wear and tear. Now another thing you're going to see is that bolt face it's got a spring in there. This does not need standard gas rings like a regular AR-15 because it is not an impinged system. So as far as replacing parts, you might find some issues with certain bolt faces or other things where you got to make sure it associates with the system itself. I probably should leave this tore apart and clean it all up. Let's pull apart the rest of this upper here real quick. Now I do absolutely love the machining that PWS does on all of their stuff. I love how the weight reduction is done on the upper and lower receiver, still keeping the necessary amount of material to make it rigid and strong. Obviously, I assume that the shapes of the machining help provide the rigidness we need in that upper receiver. And the same with the lower. I love the fencing around everything. It just is a good looking setup. Now the trigger in this guy is just an enhanced mil-spec trigger. They have some coating on it, and then they've worked the trigger just a little bit. Is it the greatest trigger ever? No, it's not. But factory out of the box, you're gonna be around 5.5 to 6.5 pounds. It's pretty crisp. It's not gross or spongy or gritty like you might find in some lesser ARs. It's a good quality setup there. Now I know you're probably looking here at this upper saying, okay, when are you going to talk about the optics? Well, that's not going to be in this video, but I will hint at what it is. This is the Athlon Aries 1-10 to 20 by 24 LPVO. We're going to do a video on this later. Pretty sweet setup. The mounts and everything. This is going to be actually a cool video to talk about when we get to that point, but I'm not going to do it in this video, as well as the Meprolite emitter on the side. So this should be pretty rad. This should be a fun gun to shoot. I'm really excited about it. And let's put it back together, and we'll give you some final thoughts in the meantime. This, I noticed, these are kind of funky. So there's actually a little notch in the bolt, or in the op rod, to take that in. And then putting these back together is a bit of a trick, like I said, because everything's attached. Everything has to go back in a certain order. There we go. Such a well machined, really a piece of art. Now that I can't get it back together. All right. Well, it would help if you pulled the retainer pins out. Okay, there it is. Super, super awesome. Listen to this trigger. You ready? Yeah, pretty snappy. What you do get in the box, you don't get any kind of manual or anything. I know I didn't do an unboxing video for you, but it does come with a single PMag, which is great. I mean, PMags have been around for a while. They're kind of the king of the hill when it comes to polymer mags. It will accept other magazines, and on that aspect there will be another video where we test out a bunch of different kinds of mags, see how it works in this gun, as well as some other comparable ARs, and we'll see how it goes from there. Anyways, this rifle, you guys, is going to be an absolute workhorse. It's going to be so fun to shoot. I'm excited to try it out. We'll take you with us. This is chambered in 223 wild, so we can run 5.56 or 223, which gives us a lot of bullet options that should be interesting. PWS guarantees this to be a sub MOA gun out of the box as long as you're using match grade ammo. We will put that to the test when we get to that point. We're going to try lots of different ammo. We're going to go from regular green tip all the way up to some fancy boat tails to see the efficiency, as well as different weights. I'm really curious to see how heavier bullets run through this, like 77 grains. This is a 1 in 8 twist as well in this barrel, so it should be pretty interesting. The one thing I didn't talk about is the barrels. PWS doesn't buy their barrels. They're making their barrels in-house. I believe these are chrome lined, and it should be pretty awesome. Again, when I had a chance to go through the factory and see how they're making their products, it is absolutely nuts. Anyway, there it is, guys. The PWS MK116 MOD2. Let's make sure you stay tuned for when we're sighting this guy in and running some ammo through it. Should be a fun video. Appreciate you guys for hanging out. I know I've sounded a little bit rushed because I am. I'm excited. I'm excited for this rifle. It should be a ton of fun. If you like this video, go ahead and like and share it. Maybe throw a comment down. Maybe I missed something. Maybe there's something that you noticed that I didn't talk about. Throw that in the comment. We'll have a conversation. And you guys, the thing about the Second Amendment is we have to exercise that right to keep it. And sometimes exercising that right is actually making our voices heard, whether that's at a rally at the Capitol building or contacting some of your state representation, or just becoming a member of your local or a national gun rights group. We can't be passive anymore. As I spit everywhere, see, I'm passionate about it. We have to be proactive in retaining our rights, to making sure that the next generation of shooters have their rights kept in place. We don't want to be the generation that loses that for them. Anyway, guys, make sure you have a good night. Keep safe. Do whatever you got to do. Have fun. Don't forget you got to take somebody's shooting. And as always, stay range-minded. See you guys later.
Bye-bye.